right?
So when you went to school, what was the purpose of that, and how did you tie that natural talent of yours together?
Yeah, it all started at 5 years old. My mom said, Wayne, go to school and make straight A's. I got my doctorate, and then I said, now what, Mama? I made straight A's. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
But along that journey from kindergarten to the doctorate, I didn't know what I was going to do. It was a lot of flowing, like Bruce Lee says, right? Be like water. And so I just knew each step along the way. Make straight A's, right? Pass the 6 weeks, pass the year, pass the semester, get a bachelor's degree, get a master's degree. And so each one of those sectors kind of pushed me forward.
Okay.
So when I was in high school, I remember my history teacher saying, you do not want to be a teacher, right? And so I knocked that one out. But when I was finishing my associate degree, one of the business faculty members there told me, Wayne, I see you're writing, you're doing these Krispy Kreme studies. Shout out to H-Time, and I think you should pursue your bachelor's degree. I said, man, I was probably going to be a mailman or work at HEB, Store 412, shout out. I took her recommendation and applied to UH, A&M Kingsville, and A&M Corpus. Well, I took that semester off, and in the fall, blah, blah, blah year of last year, I decided to pursue my bachelor's. And I didn't know what I was going to do, so I chose 5 different subjects. Business, Spanish, political science, because I wanted to be a lawyer, psychology, and sociology.
You're pretty good at your Spanish.
Sí, yo hablo mucho español.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter where you come from.
See, so I was already
Dr.
good
Wayne
at business. I knew Spanish pretty
Yeah.
well, but I fell in love with psychology and sociology, right? Dr. Benivo, Dr. Hartlov, Dr. Ramirez, just so many names. I don't want to leave any out, but for the sake of time, there are so many influences on me that I decided, you know what, psychology and sociology. Then when I got my bachelor's degree, I was like, what do you do with the bachelor's in psychology?
I was going to say, anybody going in psychology, you can't stop at a bachelor's. What are you going to get?
Exactly.
There's not a lot of jobs out there for you, so you got to keep going.
Nothing wrong with the bachelor's degree and practicing at the bachelor's level with your psychology degree. You work at places like MHMR, the Behavioral Health Center, and other agencies that'll hire you, and they're terrific workers with their bachelor's degree working in our community. So nothing against that, but for those of you that do know your bachelor's in psychology, how much more challenging it can be. So no, not dogging it, but also saying it's a step forward to pursue further education. So that's when I decided to get my master's in clinical psychology. Right, started off my first semester, and I was working at the crisis line. Shout out to Avail Solutions. Yeah, I left you many moons ago, but y'all taught me so much 13 years ago that I'm still using today that I'm appreciative for. So always shout outs to our community for making me the man that I am today and the man that I'm becoming. And at the crisis line, starting in 2010, they offered me a position to start training new employees. At the same time, Dr. Hartlob, or Dr. Heartthrob, what I say behind your back and you don't know, but now it's public and everybody knows you're Dr. Heartthrob in my mind, is that he offered me a TA position for our experimental psychology class for undergrad, where they had a lab section where we had them do a research study from getting it approved to the IRB, actually doing the study, analyzing the study, and then writing a paper about it. And so from that point on, I loved teaching. And that's when I deferred from my high school teacher saying not to teach, is teaching at the graduate level or teaching at the university level. It's a whole different experience. So I got drawn to teaching. I applied to some clinical psychology programs and didn't get accepted, but Dr. Robert Smith, one of my greatest mentors who passed away a few years ago, I had my very first counseling class with him, my first semester in the master's program, and he drew me toward counseling and teaching. So I had both the psychology and the counseling side that was drawing me, and he invited me to apply to their counselor education and supervision program, their PhD, so that way I could teach in a program and improve my clinical skills.